All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the ConquerCast. I'm here with Chad Grauel. Yeah, we were just talking about his last name. He's like a dog growling. So,
Yeah.
um, no, I'm super excited for this one. Chad's been a part of the brand for quite some time now, and I want to talk about your history and relationship with Mountain Ops. And fortunately, you're just down the road from us here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hasn't always been that way. You moved here how long ago to Utah?
So I started out, I've been with you guys since about 2018, started using your supplements in 2016, and I moved down here. It's been about 2.5 years now,
Cool.
from Washington, and Utah is just the best. Like
Yeah.
it's so amazing, and it's awesome to be even closer to the Mountain Ops family and stuff, and spend a lot of time. It makes it easier
Yeah.
working the events and,
Yeah.
and being a part of the community. So
Yeah.
I really enjoy it.
No, appreciate you being part of the Mountain Ops family for such a long time, and obviously using the product. I always love it when we have an ambassador who's used the product for a period of time before even engaging in an ambassadorship role or something like that, because
Yeah.
then it's true, it's genuine, it's authentic. Their love for the brand or the product, and then then they become a I guess a mouthpiece or a voice for Mountain Ops getting out in the community, and you've helped out a lot of events. And one thing I want to say about Chad is I think the club that you're a part of in the morning keeps getting earlier and earlier. Like I think you were like I don't know, the 5 o'clock club. Now I saw this morning you're the 4 o'clock club, and
Yeah, I do this 4 a.m. club
for
thing.
him. How long you been doing that?
Uh, it's been a few years. It's not that I want to at all. Um, the reason why I think it's more family driven,
Yeah,
right?
I remember you telling me that.
I
I want to
have,
talk about that.
yeah, I had the wife and the kid, and when you're trying to balance life, it's a lot of guys will work out when they get home from work.
Hmm.
So if I go to work in the morning, I have to be there at 7. I get home at 5. Typical. I'm sure most guys, most people usually get home around 5 o'clock. Um, then you want to turn around and tell your child or your kids and say, "Hey, I got to go to the gym now." And then you realize you're gone for another hour or
Mm.
two, right? And then by the time you get home, you get an hour with your family before everyone's going to bed. So my twist on that was, what's more important? Is it family time, or is it like, is there a way to do everything? So I started doing this 4 a.m. thing where I'm up at 4, sometimes 3:30. I get up and I'll work out while they're sleeping. So that way, when I come home from work, that's family time,
Mm.
right? So then I have anytime that I get home till the time we're in bed, like that's just, I want my family to know that they're important to me too. And if it means I have to sacrifice sleep and I can do it while they're sleeping, then that's my goal, right? That's the balance that I found. It's probably, I mean, it takes a lot of determination, I guess, and it's the consistency of it, but it's really something that I think it's worked for me. Not that it would work for everybody, but it's really a good way to balance out life,
Yeah.
because there's a good thing to it too, is that at work you don't really know what your day is going to entail.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, you have a certain plan, and by the day just takes off on you, and next thing you know, you don't get home till 6, 7
Yeah.
o'clock. So you don't even get your workout in, right? Or you had a stressful day at work or whatever. If you get that workout in first thing in the morning before the day takes off on you, you're already ahead of the day,
Yeah.
right? And so it doesn't really matter what happens after that. It's all bonus. If you have to work really hard, or if you have extra things, activities after work, or anything that comes up, that's just all bonus,
Yeah.
And so you're getting your workout in the morning while your family's sleeping, and it's hard. Some days it's hard, but Mountain Ops, I take the Yeti mode.
Uh-huh.
That'll get you
At
up.
like 3:30 in the morning, is that when you're
Yeah,
taking that?
like 3:34 in the
Four in the
morning, I'll
morning.
take that. And I tried to do the 4 a.m. club, the hashtag, like, let's get this going. And there's not a lot of people that are down for that,
There,
right?
you're an outlier, man. I'm
It's,
telling you. But I love that you're sharing this, and I want to dive into it a little bit more because this podcast is the ConquerCast, and the whole goal of it is to help the listener learn from the experience of the guests on how they're conquering in life. And if there's routines that are involved, that help them conquer more, that give their family more time, that help them in those realms of, faith, family, fitness, in the field, then that's what I want to address, and that's what I want to kind of give to our audience. And how does Chad do that?
Yeah.
How does he conquer more? And so it is, you're kind of you are an outlier, you're a conqueror, because not a lot of people do that. Now, obviously, to do that, like, I'm sure that routine starts the night before. Are you getting are you getting what you feel is enough sleep because you go to bed at at a reasonable hour? Because here's me. Last night I went to bed, pretty typical, at about midnight. My body needs 6 hours, so I'm usually midnight to 6 o'clock. It's fine, but it's not great. I need a bit be in a better sleeping pattern of going to bed a little bit earlier, maybe waking up a little bit earlier. But I remember waking up this morning at 6, and then do my routine. I clicked on Instagram and I saw your post, and it was like, to do this you got to be up at like 3:30, and now it's the 4 a.m. club. So I did wake up this morning at about 3:30. I can't remember. I remember looking at my clock and thinking, okay, good, I've still got a few hours. But then when I woke up and saw your post, I'm like, when I woke up, he was already at it. He
Yeah.
was already getting after it. What does the
It's
nighttime routine before look like?
okay. So the nighttime routine varies. I try to get the 8 hours of sleep. Doesn't happen ever. I can run off 5 hours. So I spend a lot of time. My entire career has been either in the military
Mhm.
or construction. So I think I'm just naturally up at four,
Okay.
3:30. Just it's what I do.
Okay.
Going to bed, I'll be in bed 9, but sometimes I don't go to sleep till 10.
Okay.
Sometimes if I'm lucky, I can get the 8.
Okay.
But when you have a kid who wants to stay up and watch Animal Planet and
Yeah.
stuff like that, so I don't fall asleep really. I think I run off same like you. I run off about like 5, 6 hours of sleep.
Okay.
I know that's not ideal, but there's people that can function
Yeah.
highly at 5, 6 hours. Some people need that 8. Um,
I've tried to get it in my body. I like my body, unless I'm like complete exhaustion and I've had a week, just one of those weeks, maybe I can get to 8. But my body just like it wakes up at 6 hours.
yeah.
It doesn't matter what time I go to sleep, at like 6 hours. I'm just like, and man, my wife and kids, they can sleep, and I'm like, I don't know how they do that, because once I have this like, what time is it, and then like a thought comes into my mind, I'm like, well,
Oh
there,
yeah.
there I go. I've tried to nap too. Do you take naps ever, or is it?
No, usually what happens is I will go off 5, 6 hours of sleep for 3 weeks straight, and then there's a Sunday crash. Like that's where the naps come. And
Yeah.
it'll be, 2 or 3 weeks, could be a month, whatever, but my body will say we're done.
Okay.
And so then there's like an afternoon of like a 4 hour nap,
Okay.
right? Um it's not good by if you talk to like Huberman Labs,
Yeah.
stuff like that, right? They're going to tell you that's not the way to do it, but it works for me,
Yeah.
and it works for a lot of people. There's things about it that I don't see an issue with it. I noticed that if you're taking your creatine and all of your supplements, that and I only take Mountain Op supplements.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people um, will take different brands and stuff like that and try different things, but I can tell you I take only Mountain Op supplements and I've been doing it for 4 or 5 years. That's all I take,
That's
and
awesome.
it works great. And I
That's
take everything from the vitamins to the creatine to like the Ignite, the pre
that's
workout,
awesome.
the glutamines. Like I'm constantly taking
Mm,
everything, and it works. Like
that's awesome.
I feel great. I'll be 41 in September, and I feel like some days I feel 50, right? But for the most time, I feel younger. I feel
Yeah.
like, and maybe it's a mental thing, but I feel like I'm in my 30s still.
That's awesome. No, you always have a great energy. Honestly, than watching you online, because we don't get to spend a ton of time in person together. But watching you online, I'm like, man, he's at it. He's disciplined. He makes it happen. You're doing it for the right reasons. I mean, getting that time in so that you have time for your family. I love that. I want to talk about that and family here in a bit, but um, But no, you look young, and you act, you know, you've got vitality. Your mustache is growing well. You, yeah. So tell us what the product routine looks like. You're using a lot of those products. So listeners that are like, hey, what product should I use to look like and fit
Yeah.
like Chad?
So, I my nightly routine. Well, let's start in the morning. So I'll
Okay.
take the pre-workout, right? I
And you
do
use Yeti mode all the time, or
most of the time if I'm gonna do cardio, I'll use enduro
okay,
because the last thing I want to do is get my heart rate
yeah,
jacked up before I go out for a run, right? So if I'm gonna do like a 5K or a 10K or something like that on a morning, I'll take enduro instead, but I'll still mix in the beta alanine
yeah,
with it. So it's a good mix,
yeah.
right?
I
And then
love
you're
that.
running around just like swatting your ears because
Yeah,
they're itching,
yeah, that's
right?
awesome.
But I'll use that, and then when I go to the gym, I will take the pre-workout and then I mix in my water bottle. I'll mix in creatine and hydrate,
Okay,
and I drink that while I'm working out because I know some people say take it before, some people say take it after. If I'm
yeah,
taking it during, just take it,
okay,
right? I think there's enough
good,
studies out there that it's inconclusive.
okay,
Um, and then I don't take any protein. I try to avoid all like processed proteins,
mm-hmm.
right? So I make the wife, she makes, and I don't want to
Credit.
take credit for that, but she meal preps and makes a ton of breakfast burritos.
Oh,
And
cool.
so we have chickens and we just use turkey sausage and we use farm fresh eggs and make a bunch of
That's
breakfast
awesome.
burritos. So I'll eat those. That's my
Do you do that
protein.
like once a week and prep them for the week, or how
Yeah.
does she? Yeah.
She usually makes like about 30 of them. So you let them pile up. This good thing about farm fresh eggs is they can just sit in the window, and she just puts a big old pot together and makes like 30 of them. And I'll
Wow.
eat, two every morning. That's my protein after I work out.
Cool.
So I'll just heat those up in the microwave and I got that. And then, through the day, if I need some Ignite, I'll take some Ignite. I was sitting at my office desk
Yeah.
or in my truck, stuff like that. So I'll take that throughout the day. In the evenings, I'll take multivitamin, I take colostrum, I take the Renew, and the Renew I've noticed has really
Yeah.
helped with a lot of just the digestion of
Yep.
all the foods and everything, and I really support that.
It's awesome.
I take the D vitamin, the Chewies,
Yep.
and I take the Immune, and I actually give one of my Immune gummies to my boy, so
Okay.
I burn through
Good.
those really quick,
Yeah.
right? Because they're
It's like,
kid safe and
yep.
he likes them,
They're
so I'm getting
delicious.
him some of
Yeah.
those. I take all that. There's the fish oils. I'll take that at night too. And then I also, throughout the day, if I need hydrate, I'll use that.
Cool.
But my typical go tos are the Yeti mode and then the Enduro. And that's a daily thing. Like I have an entire cabinet in my house that's just Mountain Ops, right? Like you just open it up and there's anything and everything. And I make sure that, my wife, she loves the hydrate.
Yep.
There's something in Mountain Ops. There's something supplement wise for everybody,
Yeah. That's
and
true.
it's really good. It doesn't matter and that's the cool thing about like at working at the booths and stuff. You meet all these people, and you find older ladies that they don't work out, but they like to walk in the
Yeah.
mornings or go for runs, but they want that hydrate.
Yep.
And then you find young kids that are wanting to get bulked up, so there's creatine for
Yeah.
them. Like there's just stuff for everybody, and it's not over like it's not something that's so big
Yeah.
that it's people that are normal people are comfortable and confident to come in and ask questions and stuff. They're not like, I'm not a bodybuilder, I can't use
Yeah.
that stuff,
It's approachable, right? People
Right.
feel
That and
welcome
yeah,
into the brand and into the, yeah, to the Mountain Ops family. Oh,
yeah.
that's cool. So why your go-tos? It sounds like are Yeti mode and Enduro. Like, what is it about those products that you've kind of gravitated to?
Yeti mode is because if when you're waking up at 3:34 in the morning, you need a little push,
Yeah.
and that'll do it. That'll give you the push, right? So that's I like that. The enduro is the enduro's it helps with your cardiovascular, and so when you're running, that's what you want, right? You
Yeah.
want to have better endurance, and I throw the beta alanine in there, and just as part of just the stamina increase.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like I said, I'm 41. I'll be 41, 6 foot, 225, and I can still go run 5K, 10K, and I probably do that 2, 3 times a week.
Okay.
So it depends. So I treat when it comes to the training, there's I treat hunting like football season,
Mm,
right? So it's both in September. So I in high school and stuff, I played sports,
okay.
and so football season, you really, in the summertime, you're doing 2-a-days, right? And it's just brutal.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go through the football season, then afterwards it's pretty relaxed till
Right.
springtime. I kind of treat hunting the same way. That's what I use because I don't have the ability, and life's all about balance,
Right.
right? My family is very important to me,
Yeah.
so I have to pick times, that work. What I'll end up doing is I gear up to where, like, this time of year I'm working pretty hard on getting consistent with everything, so that way I'm ready for hunting season. The good thing about hunting season is that as soon as it's kind of winding down, the holidays start.
Mm.
So then food's not a problem at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can beat my body up hunting a bunch, and then I'll start. I have time to enjoy the holidays,
Yeah,
right? You don't
that's
want to you
it's
don't want
good.
to not
Yeah.
do that, right? You put cheesecake in front of me,
That's your
it's
weakness, huh?
yeah, it's done. But the holidays I'll do that, and then so I kind of back off a little bit. I still go to the gym probably 2-3 days a week,
Okay.
and I make sure I'm getting my intensity minutes and stuff, but I'm not saying no to food,
Okay.
right? And then my cutoff day is the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So Super Bowl Sunday, that's my last like
Huh.
cheat meal, right? That's the last day I'm allowed to like really just
Yeah.
pig out and have a good time. After that, I got to start getting back into shape,
Huh.
start, paying attention more, watching my macros, my calories, make sure I'm getting enough calories in, calories out. And the whole time, then I'm really amping up. I go from like 3 days a week to 4 days a week.
Mm.
I start doing a lot more work. So I'm peaking right about now,
Mm.
right? And then that way I'm ready for hunting season because hunting season is just right around the corner. But I do it that way. So it's kind of in a
Yeah.
wave. So you get you're not just 100%,
Yeah.
just going 90 miles an hour always because
You just burn out if you do that.
you'll burn out and your family's going to get burnt out with it, unless you got some crazy wife that's doing the same
Yeah.
type of lifestyle. But yeah, that's why I just I
That's
found it,
awesome.
it works for me,
No,
right?
that's really good. You sound like you've created a routine that most people aren't disciplined in. And where does that come from? Is that like from lifestyle that you've had growing up? Because a lot of that, to do something like that, people have to say no to other things. And so you kind of have to prioritize, and that takes discipline. It takes hard work. There's so many things, bidding for our time and attention these days. How
The
did you learn that?
I think honestly, so it's always like, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? If it is, you're gonna keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably started, when I was like fifth, sixth grade. I got a couple of paper routes and getting up at 4 in the morning
Mm.
so that I could get the papers delivered and be to school in time, right? And I would run these paper routes. And so I was running 2-3 miles
Oh,
in
really?
the morning, as just in fifth and sixth grade. I would just have the little bag on and I would just run
Really?
and jog and that. But
Did your parents say, "Go get a job, go get a paper," or
no,
is it just like, "Oh, I want to earn some money," and that
yeah,
looks
I just wanted some money. I just wanted to, I grew up in a very not, it wasn't a very healthy environment.
mm,
And so we didn't have a lot of money or anything like that, and grew up in like Section 8 housing and all of that. So it was, if I wanted something, I had to find a way to do it myself.
mm,
And at that age, a paper route was just the way to do it.
mm,
But from that, one, I learned how to get up every morning. I got started exercising as part of it,
mm.
right? And then I was getting results. I was getting, then it made it to where I was really good at basketball. I was
Huh.
really good at cross country because I was running every morning,
Mm,
7 days a week. And then I was getting some money. So I was getting a return on that investment. And that's what the discipline was. If I do this every day, I'll see the results, right? And I think that started then joining the military. That's, that was part of it too. I was in Second Ranger Battalion, and that's a lot about discipline,
mm,
right? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, and that's where I'm not a Tim Kennedy. I'm not going to say that I was all this and that. I walked among legends, and I learned from a lot of great people there. But there was guys levels above me there.
mm,
But I learned from a lot of good guys there, and it just carries over, right? I've always led by the mantra. So, there's two types of leaders in this world. There's people that lead by example. And then there's those that are like, do as I say, not as I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been, I strive to be um, the lead by example,
Yeah.
right? So like if I like I'm in construction right now, I'm a superintendent. If I have my guys and I tell you you need to be there at 6 a.m., I'm there at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
with them, right? And because I'm not going to ask my guys to do anything
Right.
that I can't do.
It's
And
awesome.
so that's where I think that discipline drives out of all of that. And so when if I know that if I get up at 4 a.m., 3:30 and I work out and I'm part of that 4 a.m. club and I do this consistently, eventually you'll see the results,
Mm.
right? Eventually. But you can't, that's the problem. It's just like New Year's, right? Like New Year's comes around, everyone's going to get in shape, gyms get flooded. Within 2 months, it's
Yeah.
back down to
Back good.
nothing.
Yeah.
You got to just push through. It takes 28 days or 28 times to make something a habit.
Mm.
So if you did that 4 a.m. club for a month straight, you would get to be easy. You just build a habit. And I'm a creature of habit,
Yeah.
right? Like I get disrupted if something's out of place,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yep.
I'm a very just tactician about
Yeah.
that. Like
It's
everything
awesome.
needs to be here, here, and here,
That,
you know?
no, that's really cool. For those that have tried to step into that, let's say it's the beginning of the year or just right now, and you're going your day 15, you're feeling the slump, you're feeling the resistance. Like how do you, what do you do to push through? What's a is there a method that you could help those listening understand? Okay, there's you know,
I think for me personally, it's how I feel. There is something about you hate getting up in the morning. I hate getting up at that time. There's not every day. Some days I'm like, yeah, this is great. I'm looking forward to the workout. Some days I just don't want to wake up. But it's just like hunting, right? If you don't get up, you're gonna regret it.
mm,
You know what I mean? Like if I go to the gym, when I leave the gym, you've never seen anyone leave the gym not happy,
yeah,
right? So I start my morning in a better mood.
mm,
I'm more alert. I'm more ready for work. I just feel better throughout the day. And
yeah,
I've noticed that and I see it every day. Like there's other guys that I work with at my company that because of how my routine is, I'm at my office at 6:30. Other guys that don't wake up early, they do their normal routine. They're showing up at 9, but now they're chasing the day.
mm,
And it's just easier for me. I know that even though it sucks to get up and do the workout, at the end of it, it's worth it.
yeah.
And that's just
So you kind of hold on to that. You know from experience. I even though I don't want to wake up and do this, like I know how I'll feel, and I know how I'll feel if I don't do it.
right.
Yeah, for me, like I never want to give up on a fitness routine, and I'm dealing with some back issues right now. I'm still getting it enough in each day to not be like completely slacking off because I need the movement, I need the blood flow, I need to figure out how to work through this. Part of the reason why I never want to give up on a routine, the physical routine, is like I know the pain it takes to start back over again. I've
Oh,
I've done it a few times where I've slacked off and then I've got to start over, and the fatigue and the muscle soreness and all that you have to build back up to. It's like, no, it's worth just staying consistent because I don't want to go through the pain again. So sometimes it's the memory of the pain that
yeah.
keeps you going.
You know what it's like to run a mile after you haven't ran for
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's parts of that. Also, I think another part of me is the who I am as far as I this might be just something that a lot of guys might not be able to relate to, but as an Army Ranger, you've I'm sure everyone's met someone in their life that was extremely out of shape and was like, oh, I used to be able to do this, used to do that, used to be this.
Mm,
And you look at them and you're like, well, what happened?
yeah.
Like people just have a tendency to, as they get older, they let themselves
Yeah.
go. And it could be, what's the, like, if you get a divorce or you break up with your girlfriend, what's the first thing people say is, I got to get back in shape. It's like, well, why did you get out of shape in the first place? Right.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you take care of your body just because you're with someone? Like there's so many reasons why people slack off and I don't want to,
Excuses, huh?
yeah, I just don't want to be that. For my son is another reason,
Mm,
right? I'm 41. My son is 5 years old. If I'm going to be in shape to hunt with him when he's old enough to hunt, I have to take care of myself now. I can't just let myself go. And then when he turns 18 or 16, be like, oh, I better get in shape so I can go hunt with him. I want to be that type of father that is ready at all times. If my son wants to go hike Tip, we're gonna go hike to the top of Timpanogos. Like whatever he wants to do. If he wants to go hunting, we're gonna do that. Like he wants to go bag peaks, we'll do that. If whatever he wants to do, I want to be physically ready for that. I want to be a present father and a able father, right? I don't want to be that. Well, I can't make it up there, but good luck. Like I want to be a good father to him and share all those memories with him. So that's another driver. There's it's easier to come up with reasons to do it than to not do it.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
that's awesome.
If you It's all in the mindset. Like if you just find, if I do this, like here's all these reasons,
Yeah.
pros as to why I should be getting up at 4 a.m. versus the reasons why I shouldn't.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I love your reasons why, especially when it ties back to family and to your son and your relationship there, and being present and being able, like always being ready for that. There is a difference between being present and maybe not able. Present and able, there's so much power in that, to be able to
Yeah.
go out and whatever he's aspiring to do or desiring to do in life, and you're able to go along and be that example of, yeah, let's go do it, I can do this with you. That's an incredible gift to give to your son and to your wife. So, I mean, that being one of the major reasons why, and you making time by doing that routine in the morning, so you have time. What is the evening time look like for you and your family? If the time you get to spend together.
So I mean, it depend on the year or the time of the year, I guess. But right now, I'm usually home like around 3:30, 4 o'clock, and because I start earlier, I'm able to get off earlier and get home. My son is obsessed right now with catching and hunting. He calls it
Mm.
hunting grasshoppers,
Oh, really?
right? But so we hang out in the backyard. We'll hang out, do whatever. He likes to like shoot the bow with me. He doesn't shoot my bow, obviously, but he likes to do that stuff. We'll go camping in the evenings. It's just family time. We hang out. We talk. My wife is very good. She is amazing at cooking,
Huh.
right? So my son and I are both spoiled. She makes an amazing dinner every night, like no questions asked.
Mm.
I mean, maybe 5 times a year do I order pizza or
Huh.
something, right? But for the most part, we have a family dinner every night.
That's
That's what we sit around the table and we have family dinner.
awesome.
And that's no phones, nothing. Everything's set aside and we have a family dinner. And we're doing that now to create those habits so that when we're older, and he's older, it's still a routine,
Mm.
right? You don't want to, hey, we're going to try to change this up and now you need to put your phone away. We don't even give him screen time or anything like that. I mean, he's 5, doesn't have an iPad. I don't even think he knows what Minecraft is. So
Good.
it's a good thing right
Yeah.
now. Not, I mean,
Yeah, no, that's
if it
great.
is, the other way around, it's fine. But he he spends time outdoors. Like he has chores he does, and we spend time doing little stuff. He's always helped me like work on the truck or work on
Mm.
my quad or whatever. It's just that bonding time.
Yeah.
There's nothing special, but those are the everyday things that
Uh,
just being that present father and being able,
yeah.
and my wife is very good at doing the same stuff.
Wow.
So it's it's never a dull moment though.
Yeah.
Like he goes out to grab quail eggs, leaves the door open. The other day, they were chasing quail all through the yard trying to catch him because he left the door open. So I mean, there's always something going on, but it's good. Like
That's awesome.
it's genuine family time.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's very, very special. You might seem like little things that you guys are doing, but that's those little things that make life what it is. I was just interviewing Jim Shockey a couple weeks ago, and he talked about the same stuff, like, everyone slow down a little bit, look at who you're with, look at who you're living with, and actually smell the roses. Like, actually pick up a rose, bend down and smell it. Don't just say, hey, we should smell the roses in life. Like, do it.
yeah,
Just slow down, be with those, chase the grasshoppers, catch the grasshoppers, go chase the chickens around. Have family dinner. That is a lost it's a lost thing. I think we're just so busy. Everyone's going a million different directions, or you do sit down with the phone and yeah, you might be present, but are you really?
Yeah.
Are you really there? You know, I talk often about time and attention, and you can give somebody your time, but you can like be there and distracted by your
Oh,
attention going elsewhere, you know? And so I mean, there's a definite theme with you in your life, and it's discipline, it's routine, and to me, like the big overarching word in there is integrity. Like you're a man who does what you say you're going to do for reasons that are just highly valuable for people that are highly valuable for
right.
you in your life, and that integrity. Because when it comes to routines, you know, we commit to someone or we commit to an organization, we commit to our job, whatnot, and then especially in a physical routine, it's easy to say, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm going to do this 5 days a week. I'm going to, and then you have this routine you're going after, and then you get to the gym, and it's like, yeah, you're kind of doing the routine, but I'm supposed to do 10 reps and I'm really tired today, so I'm just going to do 6, you know? And so you let yourself off the hook. The person we sometimes have the least integrity with is ourselves. And so we kind of, well, nobody's watching. It's not going to affect anyone but me. So I'm going to take it a little easy today.
Yeah, and I think just so there's no misconceptions, it wasn't always like that. There was there was a dark time in my life when I got out of the military and with PTSD, and then I had injuries from the military that kept me from exercising and
Mm,
stuff. I went down a dark path,
okay.
right? I was not exercising, I was drinking a lot, I was partying, and I mean, there's people that say that they party, and then there's people that actually party. Like we're talking weekends of no memory. Like
Mm,
so I've been down that path,
mm,
right? And it's a dead end,
mm.
right? There's nothing good that comes out of that.
Yeah.
Um I can say that between Mountain Ops, Cameron Haynes, and Truett, those are the three catalysts that changed my life.
Hmm.
Probably would give those three right there credit for saving my life because the discipline was lost. The responsibilities were not there. I didn't have a son, right? Like my wife and I were just what do they call them? Dinks. Is that what it
I
is?
don't know.
A double income, no kids or
Okay.
something. So we were
Never
dinks.
heard of that.
Yeah. So we just we had money, we had no responsibilities, and idle hands are the devil's
Yeah.
workshop, right? I was going down a dark path. I'm not a I as far as like hunting goes, I grew up hunting. My father died when I was 14.
Mm,
So I had a gap where I didn't hunt for a while. And I decided to pick a bow back up because I was watching Cameron Haynes,
yeah.
right? That I had forgotten how therapeutic it was. And I don't think when I was a kid, I really appreciated it for
Yeah.
what it is. And then now I do. And seeing Cam and how bow hunting changed his life.
Yeah.
Now he's an amazing bow hunter, right? I'm nowhere near that. I'm just an average Joe, right? But he inspired that out of me.
Mm,
And obviously you guys are with Cam and so that worked right there. I got turned on to that. Started, oh, okay. If I need to find a supplement company because I want to get serious about fitness, I want to get back into this. Mountain Ops, Cam's using Mountain Ops. And so I started using Mountain Ops and
mm,
I started following you guys, seeing all the content, starting to meet the people, fell in love with it, right? And I can say that your support, along with Cam's and Truett's, like throughout that whole time, is what literally saved my life. The path I
wow.
was going down is completely different. The path that, because of your guys' support and inspiration, changed not the whole trajectory of my life.
Wow.
And it's so I don't want people thinking that it's a this guy's looks like he's got his stuff together because maybe I do right now. Maybe I don't don't get like I do, right? But I might have it together more so than some, but it wasn't always like that.
Mm, been a journey.
It was a very tough journey. And I can tell you that the catalyst for that change was from here, from this headquarters, from Cam, and from Truett.
Wow.
And I have no problem giving credit where credit is due, because I would not be where I am without that inspiration and the support of the family from Mountain Ops and stuff.
Wow.
It changed everything. I mean, I'm in Utah now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it changed everything, and it wouldn't be that way without that. So
Oh,
I
that's
I just
incredible.
hope that it's known that
Yeah. That's awesome.
it's a real
I
thing.
didn't know that piece of your story and
Yeah.
the dark times that you'd been through and the PTSD. Was the PTSD from just
It,
were you deployed? Were you
yeah, but it goes from so the PTSD, obviously I started with a traumatic childhood,
okay?
but then it also fed into the traumatic, experiences in the military and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So like I'm a disabled veteran, but it's, there's that I don't want that to be part of my identity.
Mm,
I don't want the hunt or all of my identity,
yeah.
right?
Right.
And I don't want hunting to be all of my identity. I don't want fitness to be all of my identity. I want people to know that, everyone's fitness journey, everyone's hunting journey, everyone's life journey is different, right? But it's never too late to start something. It's never too late to change. If you're alive and you're kicking, you can change something,
Mm,
right? It's there there's no there's no time better than the
yeah.
present,
Yeah.
right? So like if you want to change it, it's not I know that the social media and Instagram and stuff really glorifies the anomalies
Yeah.
of people that are the best hunters or
Yeah.
the best fitness people. But for every one person you see there's thousands
Yeah.
that are doing the work without the recognition.
Right.
There's thousands that are maybe even doing more work without the recognition.
That's true.
And those people y- that it's you can be that person too. Don't do it for clout.
Yeah.
Do it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to do better yourself for yourself,
Yeah.
right? And don't do it just to get likes or
Right.
get clicks. That's not what it should be about. If you're doing it, it's for the wrong reasons,
Right.
right? And you're gonna fall off because at some point you're not going to get the clicks and the likes, and then you're going to lose motivation. That should not be your motivation. Your motivation should be faith, family, hunting. Find your it, but don't make it social media.
Mm,
You know what I mean?
I love that.
That's that's if I'm going to give anybody any advice, which I'm in no place to do that.
You are
It
actually.
would it would be to your my I found my support and I found it on social media, but it's not social media
Yeah.
driven. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I think is a good thing, right? That's the
Right there is a discipline too. I think so many people could go there for support and then just get drug into the endless scrolling and oh, this, the comparison and such. So
well, comparison's a thief of joy, right?
100%.
So you got to understand that everyone needs to understand their life is different. Just because you don't drop a big bull or a big buck every year, what do they say? It's 10% of archery hunters are
Yeah.
consistent, and
Yeah.
out of that 10%, it's the same 90%,
Mm,
right? So if there's 100 guys out there, 10 guys are going to be successful. And year after year, it's out of that 10, it's the same 9 guys,
yeah.
right? So there's 99 people out there that are not
Yeah.
successful year to year.
Yeah.
So don't have that expectation just because that's what you see
Yep.
on social media. And that's the same thing with fitness, right? There's days where, I have a plan to be at the gym 4 days a week, only turns out to three, but I'm still doing three.
Yeah.
I'm still doing what I can. And that's all you can ask of anybody,
Right.
right? And don't get caught up in, well, he ran 15 miles. I have to run 15 miles. You might not understand. You're 225 pounds. He's 160. That's
Yeah.
a lot different, right? Like
100%.
you don't need to compare yourself to other people.
Yeah.
You're on your own journey. You're on your own path.
Yeah.
So
Wow. That's
that's,
amazing. Thanks for sharing that piece of the story. I didn't know the influence that Mountain Ops and Cam and True had. And in what you said was saving your life, and that's not to be taken lightly. I mean, and honestly, the Mountain Ops brand doesn't take that lightly. There's often where I'm sitting across the table with somebody like this, and I'll have them end this sentence where it's like, because of Mountain Ops, and then I'm surprised often. I shouldn't be so surprised because the community as a whole is doing so much good for each other. You're influencing so many people within the Mountain Ops community, that people that are looking to you, people that are inspired by you, just like you were of Cam and Truett. Chad is one of those that people are like, okay, I'm watching this consistency, I'm watching this discipline, I need to do that. So you're doing the same thing for many others. But I have people sit across from me and say, because of Mountain Ops, I am alive. Because of Mountain Ops, I have hope. And it always just kind of takes me back a
Yeah.
little bit. And I appreciate that you shared those things, because I feel like that's why this business was built, you know.
Yeah.
When it all comes down to it, it's for the individuals that are a part of this. Yeah, we sell to hundreds of thousands of people all across the country, but it, you know, I often say it's like it was built for Chad, it was built for me, it was built for this, you know. There's a
Right.
reason for everyone, and it, you know, our message is so inviting to people, and it's different than most of the supplement industry, you know. And we talked about this a little bit
Yeah.
before. There's a difference here at Mountain Ops that maybe some people listening, or maybe some people that are out there, just, hey, the brand's cool or the products look good, but for you, what has been the, I mean, because you started as a customer, now you've been an ambassador of ours, like really involved in the brand for a period of time now, for what, 6 years, and then
Yeah.
taking the product for 8 years maybe. What's the difference that you see? Because sometimes, even from my perspective or my seat, I'm so in the day to day of it and in the trenches of it that I feel like I could take some of what we do for granted, or some of like the impact that maybe the brand is having. But what is it that you see, so that people that maybe haven't tried it are like, okay, maybe I should give this a shot? There is a difference between this brand and others.
Well, so I think that there's like the you mentioned earlier about being approachable,
Mm,
right? And I think that that's a huge part of it. That you, if you go to a place where other supplement companies, what you see their ambassadors, those the people that you see don't look anything like everyday people,
mm,
right? They, you can tell they're, you know, jacked, they're ripped, whatever, but that's because that's all they do. 100%
mm,
is, you'll see someone that is just shredded, but you don't know the whole backstory.
yeah,
That person might have, they might be miserable, right? They,
yeah,
maybe they have a bad family life or something. Mountain Ops has fitness, but it's also family oriented,
mm,
right? It, there's, they're not gonna, oh, you didn't post something, or, you know, it, the views that you're not showing just these like shredded athletes, right?
yeah,
Like, yeah, you got Cam and Truett and stuff like that, right? But you don't have these people that are, you have personable ambassadors.
yeah,
You have people that are, it's more than just a pose. It's more than just that vanity, right?
yeah,
There's it's authentic.
yeah,
And that's what I think is a big difference, is that it's encouraging for other people, because they see someone that's not out of my reach.
yeah,
You know, I could do that with a little bit of work. I could be in shape. And you're trying to get in shape for being in the outdoors, right? You're not
yeah,
trying to win the Arnold
yeah,
Classic, right? You're just trying to be better than you were the day before.
yeah,
And that's all. I think that's what is drives everybody towards Mountain Ops. You know, and then being a veteran, you know, I've hit you up numerous times to send stuff or do a favor, like a veterans giveaway and stuff like that. And never once have I had any issues with that.
mm,
It's whether it's you or Heather or anybody,
yeah.
it's
Good.
just, yep, send it. Like,
Nice.
whatever you want, send it. Just do it. And so I've been able, like, the giving back to the community
Yeah.
is a huge thing. Like all the meals, you know, what other company does that?
Yeah.
What what other company is giving out meals to, you know, homeless and stuff like that? Who else? Do you know any?
Not in the supplement realm.
Yeah,
No. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one else. So that's what sets them apart. You can see the giving back. You
Yeah.
can see that it's not just a profit, like we're just trying to, you know, sell to these one like top tier
Yeah.
athletes. You're for everybody. And so you welcome everybody. It makes everybody comfortable coming
Yeah.
in. And I
Makes
think
sense.
that's what just sets Mountain Ops apart from everybody, because the supplements are no joke, right? Like, you can get it, you can't just take supplements and it's going to change your life,
Yeah.
right? You still have to do the
You
work.
can't just sit on the couch and drink
Yeah.
it.
that's like people saying that Barry Bonds taking steroids changes. You still got to be Barry
Yeah.
Bonds, right? Because you could give me a ton of steroids and I'm not hitting like Barry
Yeah.
Bonds, right? So there's you still have to do the work,
Yeah.
right? It can't just be Mountain Ops is there as a support,
Yeah.
but you still have to change your life.
100%.
You know what I mean? And I've I love the supplements,
That's
and
awesome.
it's as long as you're pairing it up with how your lifestyle changes are in accordance with that, then you're going to see results.
Mm, it's
So
powerful. Good.
I'm happy with it.
Oh man, thanks so much for the support for so many years and being part of this. It's with individuals like you that we're able to grow, and we've seen the growth and the success that the brand has had, and the maybe the attraction to people is they see like-minded individuals involved in the brand doing good things and for the right reasons. And I want to go back to those right reasons. I love the discipline that you build in your life so that you have the time and attention with your family. And I know there's some things in your family life right now that aren't easy. There's
Right.
there's illness, and so you're making time for your wife. And are we okay to talk a little bit about
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Because you guys, there's people that are facing mountains in life, and they're not easy. And sometimes you're climbing a mountain, you feel like, okay, we're over this one, and then we all know it. You see the next one. Well,
That's life, right? Life is the what is it? So I read somewhere that it was life is I just gotta make it through this week and it'll be better.
mm.
And just repeating that every week for the rest of your life, right? Like
It's so
like
true.
that's life. Like I just gotta make it through this week and it'll be better. It'll be easier. And then next week you're saying it again and again and again.
That's
So everybody, you know, they also, everyone has something.
yeah.
Like you have back issues, but you're still finding a way, right? I find a way because this is why the 4 a.m. club works. I can't do anything for my wife right now. She has these cancer issues that are arising, and it's something that it's affecting her health. Which if my wife goes down, if down the road, like I don't like thinking about it, but if it does, the whole ship crashes, right? Like she is what keeps the family together, right? And she does so much that allows me to do fitness stuff and hunting. Like my wife will let me go for two,
Hmm.
3 weeks out in the woods,
Yeah.
no contact. She'll run everything. I usually come back and somehow there's more animals at the house. But she can handle the whole property by herself, and she'll do that for weeks. If she's gone, you know, that is a it's more than just losing a wife. Like that's losing a lot, right?
Mm,
And so the 4 a.m. club works because I can still take care of what I need to, so that I'm still abled and present for my son and my wife, because there's nothing I can do for them when they're sleeping,
yeah.
right? Um, but yeah, there's a lot going on there, but everybody has something,
Right.
right? And so, like I said, you can write down pros and cons. And if you can either, in your mindset, you're either going to make a lot of excuses or you're going to come up with a lot of reasons why you should.
Mm,
But it's all in your mindset, because I could sit here every day and come up with 30 reasons why I shouldn't go to the gym,
yeah.
or why I shouldn't, concentrate on my fitness in the mornings. I could come up with I'm tired. I have back issues. Like that's the thing is you see some things on social media. You see me working out. You don't see the hours of me stretching, of trying
Mm,
to, like, because I'm banged up,
mm,
right? Like I'm old. People don't show all that.
yeah.
They'll show the exercising that looks cool, but the hours of pain, the stretching, the Theragun,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of other stuff that has to happen
Yeah.
just so that I can maintain that, and yeah, everyone has something.
Yeah.
Everyone has issues. It's just your mindset of, instead of come up with reasons or excuses, come up with reasons why you should.
Mm,
And with my wife and her stuff, like we're praying on it. We're hoping for the best, but we're also, it's we don't know.
yeah.
We don't know yet. We just pray on it. That's all we can do.
How has your faith and those prayers to God, like how has your faith played a role in this with
It's there's reasons. My faith, my path. and journey with faith has been rocky.
Yeah.
Uh, I grew up in a Mennonite church
Okay.
and came in and out of religion, and it's been shaky, but I've seen God work. I've prayed and I've had results,
Yeah.
right? And I've also prayed and had no results,
Right.
but sometimes those unanswered prayers lead everything happens for a reason,
Right.
right? So you just have to, that's just how I just take that radical acceptance
Mm.
of it. I can pray, but whatever is going to happen is going to happen, right? You can only control what you can, and you just have to roll with the punches.
Mm.
Like you just have to. I will, you know, I'll hope for this. I'll pray for this. I want this to happen, but if God doesn't want that to happen and He wants this to happen, there's a reason why.
Mm.
And where one door closes, another one opens, and just have to ride it out.
Wow, that's incredible faith, and that's what I call letting God prevail, right?
Yeah,
There's so often in our lives we want things a certain way, but what is best for us may not be what we're conjuring up in our mind or what we hope for, and we just don't know that there's this door over here that's going to open. And sometimes I've found that the greatest doors open in my life through pain, and there's so much purpose through it. And honestly, it's where I've come to become more acquainted with my Savior and the strength that I can receive. And had things just gone how I wanted, I wouldn't rely necessarily always on that strength that I can tap into. But I find it when there's a little suffering, and it becomes more sacred that way. But
yeah. There's something to be said about that, where sometimes what you want to have happen, because that's the easiest path, right? We're human nature. You're always going to choose the path of least
yeah.
resistance, and this is what I want because this is what would work best for me. But sometimes God's like, I want you to go do this for a bit and suffer so you can truly appreciate and
Mm.
understand. You'll grow from this,
Mm.
and then you'll be better by the time you get over here.
Wow,
Do you know what I mean?
that's powerful.
And I've seen it. It's happened to me. I take a job, I go to this job, terrible job, but I learned so much from that. And it made me a better person and made me ready for this position that
Mm.
I wanted over here years ago.
Mm.
I get this years later, but I had to take a diverted path. But I wouldn't be who I am without having that experience,
Mm.
and there was a reason for it.
Mm.
And it sucked going to this job, having issues there, losing that job, having to walk away, financial issues of, uncertainties of not having work for a while and stuff like that. But at the end, the result, I'm more prepared now for for where I'm at than I would have been if I would have just gone straight there.
Mm.
And there's a reason for that,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't what I wanted, but that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So,
Mm. That's awesome.
God has a path and you just have to trust it.
Yeah. So true.
That's
Well, thanks for the strength of your faith in that too, and your wife's as well. I'm sure it's in circumstances like this. Sometimes spouses are driven apart. It sounds like you guys have done the opposite, where you're coming together.
there's no way I would ever do anything like leave her. Like I said, she is what holds everything together.
Yeah.
There is, and if we have to move, like, we might have to move. And that's another thing that the whole the whole thing is her issues are heightened based on elevation.
Mm.
We didn't know that when we moved here, but it's become relevant now.
Right.
So if I have to move and I have to uproot my whole everything I've built here, and it's for my
Right
family,
for her.
then
Yeah.
I'll do it
Yeah.
without hesitation, as long as it's what's right for her. I mean, how selfish I would be to
Yeah.
be like, I'm going to stay here because I love Utah,
Yeah.
and I know it's killing you, but
Yeah. No way.
literally, but I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So there, that's my wife.
Yeah.
That's my family, and I want my son to have as much time with his mom as possible.
Yeah.
So whatever I got to do, it's family first.
It's awesome.
So
Yeah. No, that's incredible. Thanks for sharing all that, and I know that gets a bit personal, but for those listening, let's pray for Chad's wife, and let's pray for Chad and his
Yeah.
family. They could use our prayers right now as they explore this new challenge. And I'm sorry that you're having to pass through this, that she's confronted with. I mean, that's one thing that nobody ever wants to hear, going to a doctor's office, and so we'll keep you in our prayers. Um, you talk about kind of pivoting and God, you want this, but this is the better path or whatnot. You're in fitness, you're in family, you're in hunt. Like, have you seen that same thing played out in a hunting scenario where it's like, hey, this is
Not
what,
not the same way.
not the same way.
With hunting, I zig when I should zag, right? Like I I'm so that as far as hunting goes, I've had some success, but nowhere. I'm not an anomaly or anything, right? I'm nothing special, but it's always learning,
Yeah.
right? And so it's the same thing in life, where because you did something that didn't work out. Now, God's not going to guide you to an elk every time, right? God's not going to be like, oh, we're going to put you in on this 6 point just every year. Just all you got to do is pray and that thing's going to come right up to
That's
you.
so good.
You need to struggle. And I think that that's just part of life, that if you can't enjoy the sweet if you haven't tasted the bitter, right? And so you have to fail. You like you need to grow.
Mm,
I think it's if you're successful all the time with everything you do,
yeah.
you've never faced adversity or failure. You can't grow. You don't grow from winning all the time.
Right.
You grow from your losses.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with hunting. Like you learn, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah.
That was dumb. And then the next year you're not doing that. And
Yeah.
then you just mold yourself into a better hunter every year. And hopefully it plays out. But that's one of the greatest things about hunting is that it's hunting is something where you have to dedicate so much work to it without ever knowing the results.
Mm,
Like you don't know the results, but
yeah.
every year you're dedicating, and it's agony,
Yeah.
right? But that's what's so unique about hunting is that you can, if you're in sports, say you want to be a baseball player, if you hit the ball 1,000, you spend day after day after day after day at the batting cages, you're gonna get better.
Yeah.
And then when you go play baseball in the game, you're gonna be better,
Yeah.
right? And your work will pay off. With hunting, you can shoot a million arrows. You can practice bugles and calls. You can do all of that stuff, but there's no guarantee.
Yeah.
And so it's just a different type of there. I don't that maybe that's what
Is
makes
that
it.
part of the appeal?
I think it is. It's
I know it is for me. I just I always try to conjure up in my mind what's going to happen, the good and the bad on a hunt, and then I get up there and it's never what I've thought of. It's never, and but and why I asked the question and you're hitting on it well is like so often in life it's the same way, unless it's like a baseball scenario or something like. I can imagine everything that's going to go right or going to go wrong, and then I play the game of life, and it's like, wow, this is maybe a little different than I expected, but I could learn from the past experience and I can avoid this or I can do this now better. And it's just like, but there's no guarantees. There's so many factors that are at play in
Mhm.
a hunt or in life that you can't guarantee this outcome every time. It's just it. So I love that's what I love about hunting is like I'm gonna go out and I don't know what I'm about to learn, but it's gonna teach me lessons, and a lot of times through hard knocks or
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what makes it even more special, right? Um, you watch a guy that hits a ton of home runs. He he's just trotting around the bases. He's not super excited, right? Like he's just like, oh, it's another one,
Mm,
right? That's like if you're blind deer hunting out of a blind with the corn feeder right there.
yeah,
You got the same deer coming in every day,
yeah,
just choosing, right? You're not going to be as excited as some guy that's you know 8 miles in the back country, hasn't seen an animal for 6 years, but he's been hunting every time. And then all of a sudden that one bull pops up, and it could be a raghorn, and he's just over the moon because he finally dropped something and it's not even big, but he's spent all that time failing just for that one moment of success. It's completely different
Yeah.
than anything else. And that's the way life is like you can just be fighting the current the whole time, and but you get that one thing that you did right, and it just worked out that one time. And if that's what your goal was, then it makes everything else worth it. Makes that juice worth the squeeze.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So
Good stuff, man. This has been awesome.
yeah.
I've got a final question, and I'm just wondering if I want to make sure I've hit on everything. There's probably a lot more we could talk through. But this one final question is it comes from a book we read at Mountain Ops often. We've read it a few times, and I love the title. It's How Will You Measure Your Life? And that's my question. As a conqueror in life, when all is said and done, Chad, how will you measure your life?
I think it's not up to me to measure my life. I think it's up to the people I've inspired or helped
Mm,
to measure my life. Um, that's a true indicator of, in my mind, of how your life was spent. It doesn't matter how much money you have or friends you have or anything. It's how many people did you help in your life? How many, like, what is your, it's not up to you. It's your, what is your son? What is your wife? What, like the people that, some people you don't even know, people you just know on social media or something, right? What would they say? How would they do that? Like,
mm,
that's what I think is probably more relevant in
mm,
my mind. It's not up to me.
mm.
It's up to the people that I've interacted with in my life. Did I leave a good impression? Did I help versus tear down? Did I build? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm saying it's,
100%.
but I wouldn't have the ability to have that. It's not up to me.
Yeah.
It's up to the people around me.
Mm, that's
So if
awesome.
my life is done, whatever my eulogy says,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If it's, I hope it's a good one. Like
It will be.
and I that's the drive. Like you just want to be better every day, and but not just better for yourself. You want to be better to everyone else,
Yeah.
right?
I think
So
that's the theme from this podcast is finding a discipline and a routine in life that allows you to show up in the lives of others with readiness, with presence, with ability,
yeah,
um, and to impact their lives in an incredible way. You're doing that for your family. You've done that for me. I even more so today. Now knowing more of your story, I'm inspired. I appreciate it. I know the listeners will be as well. And it's a life of readiness, discipline, and service that you're living. So
yeah,
appreciate the example. That's what a conqueror is all about. Let's when we release this podcast, let's give away your favorite Yeti mode product to someone. So we'll work on that and make sure that gets
yeah,
out there.
yeah.
And everyone, thank you for listening. Chad, thank you for being on here.
No,
If
thank you
you
for having me.
haven't followed or subscribed, please tell us your comments in this. Tell us what you learned, what you're going to commit to doing now to drive more discipline in your life like Chad has. If you wake up at 4 a.m., hashtag 4 a.m. club and follow Chad and be
Yeah,
inspired to do so as well. But appreciate everyone listening. Thank you for tuning in. And Chad, especially to you, thank you for making some time for me
yeah.
today.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone.